democracy looks like!
This is what it looks like!
Yes, it does!
Philadelphia! How are you today? It is good to see my city in this beautiful year of our Lord, 1725. I stand here, Ben Frank. Sorry, the year 2025. Listen, there's this guy running around. He thinks he's King George, okay? I'm just a little bit confused here. Philadelphia, I love you guys. I love you. I love you all. I have always loved this city ever since I moved here from Boston as a young man looking to start a newspaper. You know, I'm 19 now. Just got back from London. You know, I saw monarchy firsthand. I know what it looks like, and it is not good, guys. It is not good over there in England right now. You know, I am very scared about this, but I have just been transported magically to the year 2025, and it looks like we have another situation on our hands, doesn't it, Philly? Yeah. And let me tell you something. Philadelphia, you know, started by the Quakers and the great William Penn, has always been a bastion for religious freedom and the ability to express yourself and your religious beliefs. So I want to start today by recognizing that it's the first day of Ramadan to our Islamic brothers. I want to recognize the holy spot for the Jewish people and all the Orthodox who are celebrating today and remembering. And most of all, I want to thank you all for gathering with me today to take a stand against authoritarianism and its detriments to our society. Now we have a show for you today. We have a great list of speakers, some absolute amazing organizers, a couple of state representatives, and most of all, an amazing group of Philadelphians. Now I look around at this crowd and I see people from every neighborhood in this city, from every suburb, you know, embodying Philly as a whole. And you know, this is something that we don't get very often. We had it a couple of weeks ago, if you remember, at that victory parade. Go Birds! Trump is Putin's bitch! Trump is Putin's bitch! Trump is Putin's bitch! Trump is Putin's bitch! Now that's the Philly spirit that I know so well. Go Birds! Go Birds! Go Patriots! I'm going to start by passing it off to an organizer from Montgomery County. He has done amazing work in our digital spaces, bringing people together and fighting against fascism and tyranny, and spreading the word about all of the ways in which Trump has been attacking our Constitution. So I'm going to pass it off now to my brother Justin.
Thank you to everyone who so generously gave their time and treasure in our effort to avert the looming threat of fascism. Let's be clear, from the attempted coup and violent insurrection, to the overt corruption and cronyism, to terrorizing vulnerable minorities and spreading eugenic propaganda, fascism is stating the American situation mildly. In fact, MAGA such a shocking resemblance to Nazism that many seem afraid to even whisper it. How can we speak truth to power if we lack the courage to even use the appropriate words? This is the rough reality that we now face. And although we have lost a very important battle, we are far from defeated. That's right! Only occurs when you stop fighting. When it comes to human rights and a habitable planet, to stop means to cease drawing breath. When we fight, we win! Because we simply have so much more to lose. We are tasked with defending life and liberty themselves. Yet we still hold out hope that we can act as peaceful warriors. An old saying goes, divide and conquer, a sound motto. The American people have been divided. Cui bono? Who benefits? As we go forward, keep this in your mind. Who benefits from our division? Hopefully most Republican voters have simply been deceived by the constant carnival of con artists and will eventually realize that they have made a terrible mistake. Not all should be considered banana Republicans or Nazis. There is, however, a consciously despotic, corporatist, white supremacist element that now holds the reins of power under the Hitlerian demagogue Trump. We must distinguish between those victims of information warfare and its perpetrators. Between the poor fool and the winning sociopath. We must reunite as a people who kneel before no one. Our fealty is to freedom. And those who would have us kiss the ring can kiss our asses. Against the omnicidal machinery of totalitarianism, defeat is so unacceptable as not to warrant an option. Thus, our victory is assured. Give it up for justice!
Now I must admit, by my faith, I am a man of pacifism. I come from the Church of the Brethren. I'm speaking as myself, not as my friend. Just for the record. My grandfather, my great-grandfather was a minister. My uncle was a minister. My grandfather, a math teacher. I come to this planet and come to this world with experiences that are so American. My grandmother was 4 years old when World War II ended. She lived in a rural town in Serbia. As a German speaker, she was enslaved and forced into a concentration camp by an authoritarian regime. And her father and her grandfather, her grandfather was murdered by that authoritarian regime, and she had to walk from Serbia to Hungary for her freedom. She spent the formative years of her life, from the age of 4 to the age of 14, living in an authoritarian, in a rescue camp, set up by the amazing U.S. aid groups that went over after the war to help the refugees who had lost everything in that war.
Refund USA!
Refund USA! It is because of the efforts of U.S. aid groups, both governmental and religious, that were able to bring her and her family over to Lancaster, Pennsylvania, and get good working jobs and an education. When we talk about the immigrant problems in our country, we talk about the right to talk about illegals and the people who walk hundreds of thousands of miles to get to this country because the way that our system is set up prevents them from getting here legally. Growing up, I had a friend. He's been in this country since 4th grade. And he immigrated first from India to New Zealand, and then from New Zealand to America. His family has been here since 4th grade. He went through the entire American education system, graduated top honors computer science from Northeastern, and currently cannot get a job because his green card is still not processed. How can we have an American dream when the people who dream it cannot become American? I pass the floor over now to an amazing organizer named Kamira, who has done tireless work on Temple's campus, registering students to vote, and making sure that their voices are heard in our democracy.
I'm glad to be here with you guys. Thank you so much for showing up. My name is Kamira Rahman, and I am scared for our democracy. Yes. And I know that everyone here is scared too. Donald Trump and Elon Musk has trampled on our democracy, our rights, and our Constitution. Okay? He has cut federal aid, federal jobs. He is actively hurting the American people, all while he's cozying up to Putin and getting into juvenile spats with our allies. It seems like every day there's breaking news about something that Trump is doing, some sort of policy that he's enacting to get rid of us and rid of all of us. But they want us overwhelmed. They want us complicit. They don't want us to stand up. Well, guess what? We're not listening to that. We have to remember to continue engaging in civil disobedience, voting them out during the midterms, boycotting. Yesterday, I don't know how many people joined, but there's a 24-hour blackout. I personally, I'm doing a 24-week economic blackout, and I urge you guys to do the same. Because if we really want them to hurt, we have to hit their pockets. That's the only way. That's the only way that they'll understand. I just want you guys to remember that this is a marathon, not a sprint. It's gonna get hard. You guys are gonna wanna, turn off the TV and just relax. We can't let that happen. They are hoping that we do that. They are hoping we turn off the TV. We cannot be complicit. During difficult times, we only have each other to lean on. That includes sharing community resources with each other, supporting local organizations, and fostering hope for one another. Only then can we harvest the energy needed to go out there and fight the good fight. Yes. I'll say one last thing. Donald Trump and Elon Musk are not slowing down, and neither can we. Thank you so much for being here, guys. This is just
not have this invention in the 1700s when I was originally giving these speeches. This makes it a lot easier. I am Ben Franklin. I come from the year 1725, when I was a 19-year-old boy, learning about the horrors of the monarchy firsthand when I went to London in the year 1724. And, starting my newspaper, that was the most empowering thing that I ever did. Because I was able to not only highlight my own thoughts, but those of the people around me. That is what I've come here today to do. There are so many of us who feel the hate, the anger, and we're sick of it. We gather here today in the city of Philadelphia, the birthplace of our nation. We gather here because we will stand against authoritarianism and monarchy always. And here's the thing. When you, by God's grace, when you stand up for what you know is right, and you are indomitable in your spirit, when you stand up and fight, you win. So I'm going to ask you to join me in a chant that became very familiar for me when I was working on the Harris campaign this past cycle. When we fight, we win. When we fight, we win. When we fight, we win. Thank you so much, Philadelphia. Pass it over now to the amazing Rev Rad.
Hey, folks. I'm mad as fuck. I'm mad as fuck. Now, politicians aren't supposed to swear. I don't know if you heard that. But I'm not a fucking politician. I am a public servant. But I need to specify what I mean by servant because I'm an African American person and that can be a little sensitive word. I serve the people willingly. That's my job when I do my job right. But I serve the people, not fucking corporations. I don't know if you heard me. I don't serve billionaires. I don't even serve millionaires. And I represent millionaires. You got a little quiet there. You see, I'm a state representative. I represent 4 neighborhoods in Northwest Philly. Now, some of those neighborhoods have affluence and access and privilege. They tend not to come to my office for constituent services when they need the most help because they have other resources. But our government is supposed to help the most vulnerable. You know the whole we the people thing? Remember that? And even though that was something that was written before all people were considered full human beings, as we celebrate our first day of what?
250.
No, Women's History Month! What kind of nation would we want to be a part of that doesn't elevate women? Oh, did you think I was done? No, I was trans men. Non-binary folk. And I'm not here because I have a queer son and a Muslim son, I'd be here anyway. Because however you identify, whatever body. All right.
You got this.
I'm with you because your fate is my fate and my fate is your fate. It is intertwined, but the billionaire class doesn't want you to know that. They want to divide and conquer. And the reason they're so fucking confident is because it's worked. It's worked. I want to show you a picture that's very personal to me. I showed it to a bunch of kindergartners through 5th grade yesterday at one of the schools I represent. This is my great-great-grandfather, Abraham Miller. Showing around so people can see. There might be a little resemblance. Abraham Miller was born property of his own grandfather in the Commonwealth of Kentucky in the 1830s. His father, who descended from a raped concubine enslaved by his grandfather, freed him and his siblings. He then went on to serve in the Union Army. This is the real Abraham I want you to think about, not Abraham Lincoln, because Abraham Lincoln didn't free the quote-unquote slaves. Black people freed ourselves. We led in our own liberation, but we didn't do it alone because there were very courageous white folk who back 200 years ago knew right from wrong. They're a product of their time. There were abolitionists, folks, and they're abolitionists now, aren't there? We need to abolish the fucking billionaire class. They shouldn't exist. And they are getting nervous. They are because they're saying we're not supposed to be connected like this.
That's right.
Look at this group. This is what America looks like. This is aggressively diverse and fabulous. But it's not performative diversity because there's a uniformity of thought here that's centered on justice. And it's not just justice for your community or your community or your community. It's for humanity. There is a lot of energy in this crowd. But when you combine energy with purpose, you get power. Some of you are going to get a little dispirited after things like this, and you see things like what happened yesterday with Zelensky in the White House. You're going to get upset. You're going to get really upset, and you should. And you're going to maybe check out for a little bit.
No!
Are you in this for the long haul? Because, look, I'm not just saying this in hopes of inspiring you. And if anything I do or say does that, I am truly grateful. But I'm going to be honest. Let me be transparent. I'm here because you inspire me. And why does that matter? Because I am one of 253 duly elected members of the largest full-time state legislature in the entire country. And I don't want our marching orders coming from corporate lobbyists. Can I be honest? Because this is going to get me in trouble, so I need to know I'm getting some love off of this. Because when I go back to Harrisburg, 100 miles west of here, they're going to give me the side eye for talking like this. But no one in Harrisburg is my boss. They didn't elect me. They're sure as hell not going to unelect me. They are taking their marching orders from Washington, D.C. and the Democratic National Committee. And I don't care what your party is. I am a begrudging Democrat amidst a corporate duopoly.
That's right.
Let me say that again. I'm not showing up as a Democrat. I'm showing up as your neighbor. The only reason I'm here is twofold. One is because I love you. That's number one. I love you. I don't even need to know your name. You took the time to show up. You took the time to care deeply. You took the time to commune with people you don't even know amidst one of the hardest times we are facing in a long time. That's why I love you. But I also want to let you know that there are some people in elective office who you can trust, not just because they can deliver a good speech, but because we do the fucking work. And some of the work is very difficult because you see, I work with fascists and white supremacists and corporate automatons. It's not a great working environment, is what I'm trying to say, folks. You should not be envious of me. All right? And so when I'm in the belly of the beast, I think about my ancestors.
Abraham Miller.
And I think about all the people like you that give me strength to remind me why I do this work in a toxic environment.
Thank you.
So you're welcome, but thank you, because we have the power. We have the power. We have the power. And anyone who says that you don't are afraid. You will believe them that you don't have the power. We've always had the power, but we gladly give it up. And now we see with this economic boycott yesterday that people are trembling in positions of power, even though it's not going to be reported on, even on the dear MSNBC.
Yeah.
That's right.
All right?
Yeah.
It's corporate media. So this is what I'll leave you with. This is just the first step.
Yes.
The first boycott, the first protest, the first rally. Every time we're going to start over, but we're going to use that cumulative energy and push it with purpose to make real enduring power, not for corporate interests, but for community. So I thank all of you. I thank all of you for being here. I could not be here. I could not do my job in earnest if it wasn't for all of you. And it doesn't matter if you could vote for me. It doesn't matter if you could give me money to my campaign. It doesn't matter if you know exactly what I do on a day-to-day basis. You empower me. You are my strength. And I thank you from the bottom of my heart. Let's keep giving it to them, folks. This is the work.
This was some common fucking sense. The fact that we all gathered here today in our unity as a city, I mean, it's just beautiful, guys. It is absolutely beautiful. And now I know not all Philadelphians are here right now, but the spirit of Philadelphia is. So I implore all of you, and I'm gonna pass it over and I'm gonna shut up. But I'm gonna when you go home, go to your favorite dinner spot. Go to your favorite diner. Go to your favorite movie spot. Wherever it is, your favorite place where you are in community. And tell them about what you did today. Tell them where you were at City Hall, and we're about to march. We're going to march around City Hall and down Market Street to Independence Hall. But I have one more speaker for you. Now, I've known Jameer for a couple of years. He was my boss once. And he's still bossing me around sometimes, but, you know, he's now my great friend. And Jameer has been a tireless defender of our city.
Yes.
And speaks for everything that makes a true Philadelphia. So it is my absolute honor to introduce all of you to my brother Jameer.
Friends, family, Philadelphia. The old world is dying, and the new world struggles to be born. This is the time of monsters, and I say slay those monsters. Capitalism, white supremacy, U.S. hegemony. These beasts sink their teeth into our backs, drain our futures dry, and demand our submission, our humble sacrifice. Bear down on them. Don't let up. Tear them apart with the same ferocity they've used to devour our communities, our labor, and our dreams. We have nothing, and I mean we have absolutely nothing to lose. Brother Luigi, for example. They've already stolen our futures. You have no futures. It's been sold to a corporation. Piece by piece, they've broken it down. Reclaim that while you still can. While you still have a human body with 2 legs, even if you don't. I see people here in wheelchairs. I see people here on crutches. I see people with limbs missing. Veterans. Folks that live on the streets. They live in the fucking filth, piss, and recluse of the city, and they still show up to stand for Philadelphia. If you have it all, you should be standing with them. You are no different from the man that you will find that asks you for a $5 bill on the fucking street. You are him and he is you. Forever your fates are intertwined. I'm telling you right now, stand for something. No more waiting. No more hoping. There is no Superman. He's not coming. You are him. You are Superman. Actually, you might as well stand for everything because that's what they are coming for. You have nothing left but your soul. You have nothing left but your voices. You have nothing left but community. So stand together and fight like you have some goddamn sense. Our wages, our rights, our homes, our very existence, they want it all. And you know what? The people on social media, your friends, your fucking loser friends, white friends, whoever they are, they think they can make compromises with these people. They think that they can go into the machine itself and tear it down from the inside. You outnumber the machine. You surround the machine and break it on your own. Why do we continue to post when we know where these people live? When we know where these people work? When we know where these people hang out and have fun on our dime, on our dollar? I'll say they are not invincible. They want you to think they are, but history proves time and time again that is not true. Empires fall, systems rot, and the people always rise. Around City Hall, up Market Street to Independence Hall. This right here is your new normal. You should be doing this once a week, once a month, once every so often.
is what democracy looks like.
This is what democracy looks like.
I'm very happy to report that this crowd is much larger than the permit allows. But, and that is in no small part due to the efforts of the 5051 group, 5051 Philadelphia, we are Heathens Against Hate. And before you wonder what are heathens, we are a modern expression of the ancient Germanic religion through the lens of various Germanic cultures. We are fully inclusive. We have people from all walks of life within us. And so we worry about everybody. We worry about the people who are in our community, the people who are outside of our community, and we worry about our rights, especially as Christian nationalism becomes a problem, so much so that many Christians are really scared about their rights to religion. This country was founded with religious liberty as one of its core tenets, and we are gradually seeing the erosion of that, not so gradually actually, and it's only been like, what, 6 weeks? I wish they could fix our problems as quickly as they make them, but, oh well, I guess it's last in, first out, but so we decided to have this here today because of that building over there. This building is one of Philadelphia's greatest treasures, and I think that people oftentimes tend to overlook the miracles that have happened right around this area here. From the Liberty Bell, there was kind of a little bit of a failure with the crack, but what it represented went on with the cracks. Just like the Constitution was not perfect to begin with, it's still not perfectly executed now. But it's a heck of a lot better than it was in the 1950s or before, and we're not going back.
We're not going back.
We're not going back. We're not going back. We're not going back. We're not going back. We're not going back. We're not going back. The segregation era ended a long time ago, and yet the politicians still manage to find ways to keep us at each other's throats for no real reasons. We're not going back to that either. We're not going back to Uncle Tom. We're not going back to established racism. And we're not going back into any closet, broom or otherwise. Yeah. I mean, I don't know if you all know this, but like, you know, the T has been removed from the LGBT reference at Stonewall. And that Stonewall event was led and initiated by members of the trans community back in the 60s. And removing that is a crime against history, not just against people, not just against humanity. They are rewriting history. We are not going to let that happen. We're not letting that happen. Make sure you write your things, share them with people, then do your research and help people find the references that they need. Help people learn about the Constitution. You know, I'm a school teacher. You know, this is not how I normally plan on spending my Saturday. But this is a history lesson right here. Other generations have had to stand up and fight wars. Generation X has been mostly, you know, we haven't been called to draft, you know, and the current generations need to step up now. This is our battle.
That's right.
We got to learn from the greatest generation that some things are worth dying for.
When we fight, we win.
When we fight,
we win.
When we fight,
We win.
and yes, they said a lot of. I wish I don't remember the gentleman's name who gave a really passionate speech up there at City Hall.
Owen.
But no, both of them actually. But I got to tell you, I'm glad they didn't do it down here because that's a tough act to follow. But everything they said was true. And one thing that I will say is that I come from a Republican family. I left the Republican Party a long time ago, but I have members of my family who are Republicans, and most of them did not vote for Trump. And unfortunately, I'm sure that many of you have experienced this too, like rifts in your family because of this sort of thing. I mean, I cannot carry on the same relationship with people who knowingly voted for Trump, did not buy into the rhetoric or get tricked, but actually became mouthpieces for Trump, telling me that how horrible Biden was. I'm like, Biden's in the past now. This is today.
That's right.
Number one, and besides that, you're assuming that I supported Biden. You don't really know. But I can't have the same relationship with people who would see me harmed because I'm gay, or members of my community who are trans, or members of any community, and they're divide and conquer. They're going for what they conceive to be the easiest target first, the trans community. We got to stand together. We've got to stand together, all of us, because then they're coming after the legal right for gay men and lesbian women to marry whom they love. And they're going after that one. They've already taken down Roe v. Wade, and many women are somehow like following this and becoming mouthpieces themselves. There's a few other names that we should have, kind of denounced on the way down Marcus Street, like Marjorie Taylor Greene, Nancy Mace, these people who carry on like the mean girls in high school, and they act like a very junior high school behavior, trying to get, trying to catch the trans representative at the bathroom.
Yeah.
These people are bullies. These people are bullies, and I'm a school teacher. I teach special ed, and what do we teach kids about bullies? You got to stand up to them. You got to make proper reports. Don't say anything that didn't happen.
That's right.
But keep them, record things. All the history does matter. And what is one subject that is not getting to do in schools? History. History is the subject that is expendable. Oh, well, we didn't have enough time for all of our science this week, so we'll just not do history this week.
History matters!
History does matter. And nothing proves that history matters more than that building over there.
This is what democracy looks like!
This is what democracy
This is what democracy looks like.
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 Stand for the Constitution.
Stand for the Constitution.
Stand for your rights.
Stand for your rights.
And stand for the rights of others.
Stand for the rights of others.
They try to separate us. They try to take out the easiest people, the most vulnerable populations first, and then everybody else backs off in fear, hoping they won't be noticed.
They divide and conquer.
Divide and conquer is the oldest trick in the book.
Immigrants make us stronger.
Immigrants make us stronger.
Immigrants make us stronger.
So today the Liberty Bell is replaced by a megaphone. It's still the same message. So, the one thing I did not do is introductions. My name is Robert Lusch-Schreiwer. I'm the senior manager of Heathens Against Hate. We are headquartered in Bristol. We have one of our religious organizations that's actually based here in Philly on Chestnut Street. So, if anybody has concerns about the word heathen, I just want to explain that what the word heathen means is simply the religion of the heath. That once the city's converted, the countryside's religion remained intact much longer. So the city dwellers refer to the heath, the religion on the heath, as a heathen religion. All it means is we're the religion of the countryside. It's not exactly the same meaning that's portrayed in the Bible, but that is the Germanic root of it. So please do not worry. We are not saying this. I don't want to I don't want to say anything bad about them either, because they get a lot of shit done.
That's right.
But we do not eat babies. We do not burn babies. Anything you hear to that end is utter bullshit.
All right.
Freedom of religion.
Freedom of religion.
Thank you all for coming. I'm going to introduce. We have 4 speakers here for our group today. And the next one I'm going to introduce is going to be. Hold on a second, everybody. Next up is going to be my colleague Miche Nickolaisen.
My name is Miche. It's nice to meet y'all. For a little bit of information about me, I am actually right on my mouth. Okay. I am new to the area. Me and my partner, who is Garrett, this beautiful person, moved here last year from Texas in search of a safer place. And I just wanted to say that people in the Midwest and the South talk a lot of shit about people in the Northeast, but y'all are great. I had a great time here. We have been thoroughly welcomed. It is it's been a wonderful experience, especially because, things in Texas have got really bad, as I'm sure a lot of you probably know. So, I've done a fair amount of protesting, organizing, and mutual aid. I've been pagan since I knew what the word meant, and heathen specifically since 2008. And being involved in Heathens Against Hate is important to me for 2 reasons. One, because as a white person practicing a majority white religion that has been infiltrated by white supremacists, I don't think it's enough to say we're not like that. We need to actively show that there is no place for fascism or white supremacy in our faith or in our social groups. We have a moral... As white people, we have a moral imperative to not just condemn, but actively dismantle white supremacy whenever and wherever we see it, and this is no exception. There are no exceptions. The other reason is that the way that I approach activism and the way that I approach my spirituality are intertwined and inseparable. The concepts of reciprocity and solidarity are core to the way that I interact with the world, whether I'm practicing my faith or whether I'm protesting. Reciprocity involves recognizing the ways in which we all depend on each other and seeing that when you help other people when they need it, you are creating a world in which those people are able to help you when you need it. And solidarity is really just reciprocity through a different lens. It's realizing that we all share the same struggles, we are all targets of the system, and it's being willing to stand alongside other people in their fights, even if it doesn't directly affect you, because there will come a time when you will need others to stand by you.
That's right.
There's that meme that we've all seen that's been going around for the last year or 2 that's like, what radicalized you? And for me, I think probably a lot of people who know me might guess that it was something like being in Charlottesville in 2017, getting tear gassed and maced by neo-Nazis, and doing first aid on my friend while she screamed in pain on the ground.
Fuck Nazis!
Yeah, fuck Nazis!
Fuck Nazis!
Fuck Nazis! Or maybe being on the streets in Austin in 2020 during the Black Lives Matter protest and seeing cops drag people into unmarked cars and school buses and having someone try to follow me and my friend back to my car to attack us. To be honest, the radicalization ship had long since sailed for me before this, but actually it was the 2021 freeze that really drove it home for me that our systems are not going to save us and that we only have each other at the end of the day. In February of 2021, Texas had a record-breaking catastrophic freeze that almost shut down the entire state's power grid. It was 90 seconds away from shutting down completely.
And Ted Cruz went to Cancun!
Yeah, fuck Ted Cruz!
Fuck Ted Cruz!
Fuck Ted Cruz! Fuck Ted Cruz! Fuck Ted Cruz! Fuck Greg Abbott! Fuck Greg Abbott, for real. It was a natural disaster, but it was made infinitely worse by greedy, lazy politicians who were loosening regulations to line their pockets. That's the reason that the power grid was so weak. There were hundreds of people that died. The official count was 246 people, which of course the state comes up with, but the independent estimates put it closer to 700 people who died because of them. Completely unforgivable. And of course, as always, the most vulnerable people suffered the most. People were stuck in their homes, unable to get out without heat or running water. And this included, like I said, a lot of really vulnerable populations, including the elderly, disabled people. There were single moms with infants at home. No heat, no water, couldn't get out of their houses. I did a lot of mutual aid work, and it was honestly obviously it was rewarding. It was really scary and really stressful trying to help people while knowing that we were the last line of defense and there was nobody coming after us to help. But something that has stuck with me ever since, and remember, this was during the COVID spike, this was before the vaccines were released. People did everything that they could to make it better for each other. My friends in other states sent me Venmo donations unprompted so that I could buy baby formula for strangers and keep enough gas in my car to deliver it.
That's right!
Every local Facebook group spontaneously turned into a mutual aid group with people offering food and water and even their homes to those who needed it.
Keep FEMA! Keep FEMA!
Yeah, keep FEMA, for real. Keep FEMA.
Keep FEMA!
We need stronger infrastructures. We don't need fucking weapons, we need infrastructure. Every local Facebook group that I was in spontaneously turned into a mutual aid group. Oh, sorry, I already said that, my bad. Yes, it is worth repeating because that instinct to be there for each other is core to who we are as human beings. We are steeped in a culture that feeds us lies upon lies from birth about exceptional individualism, and those lies can override our instincts, but in times of crisis, you see people shake off that conditioning and do what we are meant to do, which is protect each other and take care of each other.
That's right!
We will all need each other more than ever in the coming days. So while I want to encourage you to keep showing up to events like this, I also want to encourage you to talk to the people here and get to know them. Talk to other people who are struggling in the face of this administration and who have been targeted by this administration. When you get home, talk to your neighbors. Get to know the people around you and find out what they need and think about what it is that you can offer to them. We cannot build a sustainable resistance without helping people, and our goal has to be to protect each other as much as possible. You should be willing to stand in solidarity with total strangers, but knowing them makes it a lot easier to do so. So we gotta get to know each other.
That's right!
And if you will bear with me for a moment, I would also like to encourage you to start thinking about your non-human neighbors too. It is up to us to be stewards of the world around us, or it should be, and collectively, especially speaking as a white person for white people, we have not done a very good job of it at all. The same systems that are killing us are also killing the land and animal and plants, but they cannot speak or vote or protest in the same ways that we can. So helping your local wildlife in whatever ways you can, and keeping your local environment clean and safe in whatever ways that you can. These are important things to do, not just because it's the right thing to do, but because it affirms to yourself and it shows to other people that there are things more important in this world than money and greed and empire.
Save our parks! Save our parks! Save our parks! Save our parks!
That's public land, that's for us, that's not for them to sell.
We don't
need more oil.
We don't. Speaking of empire, another thing that we should absolutely do, again, especially speaking as a white person, is advocate for the indigenous people around us and the return of their land to them. Part of the reason that things are as bad as they are is because indigenous peoples have been systematically removed from their lands and prohibited from practicing the land stewardship methods that they have used for thousands of years, and that needs to stop.
We're all immigrants here.
We are all immigrants here, and no one is illegal on stolen land.
No one.
No one. When people think about activism and resistance, they often think of the big flashy actions, but it is also resistance to take your neighbor to her doctor appointment because they made it so Medicaid doesn't cover telehealth anymore. Yeah, boo. There is no reason to do that except for cruelty. Absolutely not. Resistance can also be fundraising and having group cookouts so that people can participate in a general strike and still have food on the table at the end of their day. And it can be offering to babysit your neighbor's kids so that he can go to the union organizing meeting. Resistance is all of these everyday actions in addition to the big dramatic actions, whether that's showing up to a march with a couple hundred people or sharing a GoFundMe and contributing so that the immigrants who have been wrongfully detained in your neighborhood don't lose their entire livelihood and have something to come home to when they are released. We need the everyday actions and the dramatic ones if we want to build sustainable and impactful movements and make sure that we all get through this. Solidarity forever.
Solidarity forever.
And when we do that, when we work together to make sure that everyone's needs are met and that nobody falls through the cracks, that is always going to be the most important resistance that we have in the face of systems that want to keep all of us isolated, desperate, and afraid. We keep us safe.
We keep us safe. We keep us safe.
We keep us safe.
We keep us safe.
We keep us safe. We keep us fed and we keep us from losing hope. We do that. Nobody else does that, and no one to be dictator, and none of his cronies can ever take that away from me or you or anyone. And that's what I want you to remember when you go home today, that our most important jobs is for us to keep each other alive and for us to keep our hope alive and the hope of other people alive. Thank you all for being here. Thank you for showing up. Thank you for being the kinds of people that you are and building the kinds of communities that you are. If you want to talk about more of any of this, if you have questions, I'm easy to find. I got green hair. We want to do more mutual aid work and more work with other local organizations. Please just find me and talk. I would love to meet you. Thank you so much for being here and for your time today. And remember, the people united will never be defeated. 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 No kings, no crowns, and we won't back down. No kings, no crowns, 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 we won't back down.
Our next speaker will be Garrett White, and another member of Heathens Against Hate team.
Leave immigrants alone. Leave immigrants alone. Leave immigrants alone. All right, thank you so much, everybody, for being out here. You know, that chant is really relevant because I wanted to ask how many of you have heard about what's happened at Jersey Kebab in New Jersey? Yeah. For anybody who doesn't know, let me tell you, in Haddon Township, a lovely couple named Salal and Amin Eminette run a restaurant called Jersey Kebab. They're some of the sweetest people that I have ever met. Their shop, it has a sign on it that says, free food if you have a disability, you're homeless, or if you simply can't afford it. They go down the street to the old people's home, and for the poor elderly there, they feed them every single week. And when Miche and I went in there and we told them why we came to New Jersey, that we were escaping Texas, the anti-trans legislation and sentiment there, you know, they looked at me and they said, "We're glad that you're safe now," and they welcomed us with open arms. When I asked about the sign on the door, they said, "The reason we put it there is so that way people don't have to be afraid, because we know that there's a lot of shame in this world and that people can be afraid to ask. And so we want people to know that they can come in, no shame." They are just compassionate to the core, these people. But they are also Turkish and they are Muslim. And on February 25th, U.S. Marshals in conjunction with ICE showed up to their shop and detained them.
Fuck ICE! Fuck ICE!
Fuck ICE!
Fuck ICE!
Fuck ICE!
Fuck ICE!
Fuck ICE!
Fuck ICE!
Fuck ICE!
Fuck ICE! Fuck ICE!
Fuck ICE.
Someone had reported them as illegals, even though that they are not. They came to this country in 2008 on visas, and in 2016 they started the application process to get their full citizenship. They have had their application pending with immigration for 9 years. For 9 years they have been in limbo waiting for their case to get reviewed. They have a family, they pay taxes, and now their lives are being completely upended because of the broken immigration system in this country and because of Trump policies that encourage snitching on your neighbors.
Hatred isn't welcome!
Hatred is not welcome.
Hatred is not welcome. Hatred is not welcome. Hatred is not welcome. My great-grandparents were Polish immigrants. My mother was born in Canada. Yeah, the same Canada that Trump threatens to annex as the 51st state. Leave sovereign nations alone! Leave sovereign nations alone! Leave sovereign nations alone!
Defend Ukraine!
Defend Ukraine! Defend Ukraine!
Defend Ukraine!
Defend Ukraine! Defend Ukraine! Defend Ukraine! Defend Ukraine!
Defend Ukraine! Defend Ukraine! Defend Ukraine!
That's right. Yeah, that's what we should be doing.
Defend Gaza!
Defend Gaza! Defend Gaza!
Defend Gaza! Defend Gaza! Defend Gaza! Defend Gaza! Defend Gaza! Defend Gaza!
Regardless of how you feel about the conflict, that AI video that went around about Trump Gaza was disgraceful.
No Gaza Lagos! Fuck Elon Musk!
Fuck Elon Musk.
Fuck Elon Musk! Fuck Elon Musk! Fuck Elon Musk!
So, I was actually raised in El Paso, Texas, which is right next to Juarez, Mexico. And like Salal and Amin, there are many families on the border whose lives are being threatened by ICE and immigration policies that blame the people that are seeking a better life for themselves and their children. No different than my great-grandparents hoped for when they crossed the Atlantic all those years ago. Now, I hear people say, well, what about the cartels? Now, to that I say, who supplies their weapons? 74% of the weapons that cartels use come from the United States. Who buys the drugs that the cartels bring in? We do. The U.S. is complicit in all of this, and Trump blames Mexico entirely for it. People also say, well, Salal and Amin came here legally. Many people who cross the southern border don't. Many people crossing the southern border are seeking asylum. And I want you to all know this. The only way to seek asylum in this country is to land on U.S. soil first. It is the only way.
Protect asylum seekers.
Protect asylum seekers.
Protect asylum seekers!
Protect asylum seekers.
Protect asylum seekers!
So for all of those people who say, well, they're not doing it the right way, guess what? They are doing it the right way. just like Salal and Amin did it the right way, and yet here we are. The system is broken. You may wonder why I'm going on about this. Well, I have heard some people say that these protests are meaningless. That we are screaming into a void and that this is not going to change things. Well, I do not agree.
Just getting started.
Every time that we hit these streets, we are showing our neighbors that whatever struggles the Trump administration is raining down on them, whether it's ICE, whether it's layoffs, whether it's Medicaid and VA funding cuts, whether it's anti-trans legislation or racist rhetoric like blaming plane crashes on DEI. Each time we come out here, we are fighting for our rights, yes, but we are also showing our neighbors that they are not alone. We win! We win! We will come together the way the community has come together for Salal and Amin, and we will fight for each other. I do believe that there are some people in government who are listening to us, but even if they weren't, this movement is not about them. It's about us. It's about the most vulnerable members of our community seeing that we stand with them. And we refuse to be silent while the freedoms we fought so hard for are being systematically erased by a wannabe king. When we fight, thank you so much for listening.
So our next speaker, this event, like I said, we thought Heathens Against Hate, we thought we'd have a small turnout here, maybe 50, 100, but thanks to 50501 Philadelphia, you all heard about it, you all turned out. And so our next speaker is going to be from 50501 Philadelphia. It's going to be Cooper, and he has some things to say.
All right, thank you all for being out here. This is wonderful energy. Thank you. We're going to talk about independent mass action. And we'll start with a story about affirmative action. And do you remember which president affirmative action was passed under?
Lyndon Johnson?
It was Nixon. A corrupt, sexist, warmongering scoundrel. And he passed affirmative action under his presidency. Now why? Because there was the mass movement, not even the anti-war movement, but also the black movement. And the black movement was inspired by people like Martin Luther King, Malcolm X, who had a vision of an entirely different world, not just legal on paper equality, but actual equality in the economy and the power of marginalized people, including black and brown people in this country. And it was because of sustained mobilizations of people and sustained resistance, because people had a dream and a vision of a totally different world, that the government, a conservative government, had to bend to their pressure. The same thing can be said for the Black Lives Matter movement. Why did the cop who murdered George Floyd go to prison? Because the mass movement made them do it. Right.
When we fight,
we win. Thank you. So don't let anyone tell you that protests don't matter. What we have to do is have to continue to build these bigger and bigger to fight the billionaire class. And I'm going to warn you, there are going to be people who will come to these rallies with radical language, and they will say, we need to go back to the polls. We cannot be on the streets. That doesn't work. We need to go vote for whoever politician is saying nice radical things. But it doesn't matter who is in power, because we have the power, and we will continue to fight for it.
America's not for sale.
When we fight, we win. When we fight, we win. All right, thank you all for being here. You're all beautiful. Thank you.
Our final speaker is my colleague Michael Stewart.
Good afternoon. Thank you for joining us today. I come here today as a disabled Jewish heathen. Yes, that's right. I'm Jewish and I'm heathen, right next to the Holocaust. That really did happen, no matter what they say. Now, back on track.
I'm here to stand with all of you today, not only to demand equality, but to denounce the fascist oligarchy trying to destroy the democracy we created here so long ago. My promise is that I will call out bigotry when I see it.
Yeah.
I will stand with other marginalized groups to help them raise their voices. We are not lesser because I'm Jewish or heathen or a black or trans or a woman or disabled or homeless. We are all human beings. At the core of everything, we are human beings. We all deserve the right to pursue the life, liberty, and the opportunity for happiness that we all have. Together, we are stronger. Together, we are louder. No kings here in America. Thank you very much.
No kings, no crowns, we won't back down. No kings, no crowns, we won't back down.
Hey everybody, I want to thank you so much for coming today. You know, the one big takeaway for this is just how much Philadelphia matters. The city kind of has an inferiority complex sometimes. You know, we always have a tendency to look at what's wrong with Philly. But there's a lot right with Philly, including this crowd here. We are the birthplace of America. This is the cradle of liberty. We need all of us here in Philadelphia, the close suburbs of South Jersey. We need to restore the civic pride. We need to be proud of who we are. And we need to celebrate Philly. We need to celebrate the diversity of the people. We need to celebrate the history here. We are blessed to have these reminders, these concrete reminders of the places where our founders and the people who supported them, because you know, although the women may not have had the rights that the men did, they sure as hell did a lot of the work. Yeah, that's the big takeaway. As long as Philly stands united, they're not going to take us down. This will not be its deathbed. This is what democracy looks like.